Final map of the series between these two guys, and we have Vega Squadrons, Spellsinger, the orange Protoss, spawning in the bottom right position on King Sejong Station, and his opponent, AT Gaming's Elazer, the green Zerg player, spawning in the top left position. Now, I did get a question from the chat, which race is being favored by this map? I would personally say the Zerg player is slightly favored on this map, but what do I know, right? I mean, doesn't look like a gateway opener to me. I was thinking, like, this map, you know, it's difficult to wall. You can't wall the ramp, so you cannot deny high ground vision to your Zerg opponent, so you have to wall like this. And going Forge is not really ideal, I don't think, on this map, but Spellsinger is going to attempt it anyways. Or maybe even go for a Nexus first. Still hasn't built the Forge, despite the fact that he sees the pool. This could be dangerous. I mean, he could try and get the Nexus down first, deny the hatchery from coming up. He may even try and block it with a pylon, but I don't think he'll get around to that. He did have an opportunity right now. Has to be careful of not losing that probe. There we go. Hatch goes down. Lings are in production, so this probe should head on back home, unless it wants to suicide itself to check for the gases, which is also important. Yeah, Spellsinger checks the gases, sees no gases, gets the Forge, gets the second pylon, and he's going to try and attempt a wall-off at the ramp even. The Elazer, well, he's probably not going to be able to do anything about this. Alright. And Spellsinger may have to close this off. There we go. Nicely done, but also it's a little bit dangerous. He'll have to cancel the gateway unless he Oh, this was actually very smart. He used the hurt probe to bait the attack out of the Zerglings in order to not have to cancel the gateway and allow the cannon time to finish. That was nicely done. Third base on the way for Elazer, so taken at the 4-minute mark roughly, or slightly before. And it's just going to play a normal pool 3 base type of play, similar to what we saw him do on Overgrowth, which was the first map. And it's really going to be up on Spellsinger to decide what he wants to do and how he wants to approach the game, because, you know, in PvZ nowadays I really feel like the Protoss player has to be the one that is creative, has to be the one that is active. The Zerg player just needs to scout correctly and just build up a correct composition. Once the Zerg player gets to Hive Tech and Vipers, the engagements just switch so dramatically around. You know, the Protoss player loses his immense advantage that he does have in his higher tech units and his higher hit point units and his higher hitting units. And the Zerg army just suddenly becomes so much more effective. So it's going to be a Stargate. Let's see what comes out of that Stargate. Is it going to be an Oracle? Is it going to be a Phoenix? It's going to be a Phoenix. So a normal kind of Phoenix opener into probably a third base. We have +1 going for Spellsinger as well. Did he actually... he lost only one drone there. Lost one Zergling, that's about it. And that one Zergling was killed by a cannon. Or maybe this mothership core. No. Must have been killed by the cannon. Yeah. So, 3 bases will be saturated very shortly here. The last round of drones to reach the 66 drone saturation, and then Elazer will no doubt decide on his mid-game tech. 5 additional gateways. We have 2 Phoenixes. Maybe these are just to clear Overlords from the map. Maybe this is to make Elazer think that this is going to be a 3rd base follow-up. In which case, it should have been going up by now. I mean, make no mistake, the Nexus should have been building if this was a 3-base build. So 7 gates, plus 1 attack. This is very similar to game number 1. And it did not work then. We have Hydra then going up. Interestingly enough, the creep is not connecting these 2 bases just yet. Looks like Mr. Pink is lagging a little bit. Yep.
Game paused.
So we should get this going fairly soon. There we go. Oh, pro skills. Spellsinger saving that probe from being killed. And now here comes the mothership core. Here comes the rest of the army. That probe still may be able to get that. Oh! It desperately wants to start warping in a pylon. Wow! What a play by Spellsinger. Very nicely done. Without this pylon, this attack could have been doomed to failure. But it could be doomed either way, don't get me wrong. We have link speed almost down, we have Hydras hatching. And 3 force fields already have been expended just to kill 13 Zerglings. So it's going to depend on the force field usage. I mean, you can force field this area nicely, but we don't have any force fields left. Time Warp going down and Phoenix is trying to lift off, but look at the numbers of Hydras in the concave they have. GG Cold and Elazer waltzing into the finals today with a score of 2-1 over Spellsinger from Vega Squadron.